SOTC 52, chapter 49. I want to read something to you before we even do this. It will take 4 or 5 minutes just to give you a jolt, right? But I want to read something to you first. This is from 1 Peter 2:9. But you are not like that, he said, for you are a chosen people. You are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. It's 1 Peter 2:9, and that's the title to this chapter is Basileo Hiratuma. And that sounds like some kind of chant, man, but it's not. It's a Greek word that the New Testament was written in. When it says you're a royal priesthood, that word royal priesthood in the Greek is Basileo Hiratuma. Now, why would I name a chapter after that? Why would SOTC bother to put one of those in this book? It's really, really simple, man. Basileo Hiratuma, royal priesthood, means that now, because of what Jesus did, dying on the cross and then sending his Holy Spirit back to cover the whole earth, now you and me and anybody else who professes the blood of Christ to be his follower, we can do it all. Royal priesthood means I can do it all. I could pray for people to get saved. I could pray for people who are sick. We can speak in tongues. We can interpret. There's all kinds of stuff that we can do now because we're a royal priesthood. We don't need someone else to lead us along to help us to do it. You know, we had a retreat. We rode with all the guys. We took our scooters out and we blasted out to Fort Bragg. We had a big fire pit out there late at night. A bunch of guys were standing around, maybe 30, 40 guys, maybe a little more. And we got in a circle, and while we were there talking, I said, hey, man, let's do this. Every one of you guys is born again. Every one of you has the Spirit of God inside you. So I want everybody to put their left hand on the man next to them all the way around in a circle. And then I want you to prophesy to that man and tell him what it is that the Lord has for his life. You reach out into heaven, you pull the Holy Spirit down inside your mind and in your spirit, and you prophesy to him what God has for him to do. Because if you're a born-again Christian believer with the Holy Spirit, you have the ability to prophesy because the Holy Spirit prophesies and he's in you. So just call that down and do that. And everybody went around in a circle. I think we were out there for a couple hours, man. It was super powerful. There was another time I was over in India and we were looking at this big building. It was right down on the Ganges. It was an old building built during World War II. Then it was for sale for $600,000. And we went over there to look at it for a nursing school, a Christian nursing school. It was right down the road from Mother Teresa's place. And I remember looking at it thinking, well, man, that's a lot of money. That's a big building. It was 3 stories high. So I asked the cat that was showing us this thing. It wasn't. They don't have real estate agents over there. I forget what the guy was. He was some kind of government official that knew about the building. And so I asked him. I said, so if we did a nursing school here, how many nurses could you graduate per year? He says, well, in this school here, let me call this other cat over. So he calls this guy over from this church who was the one that was going to give it accreditation. And I said, how many people can those nurses reach each year once they graduate? He said, well, probably about 100,000. I said, what? He goes, oh yeah, people come from miles around out in the countryside of India just to get prescriptions for whatever because they don't have a doctor. So they'll line up for hours just to come and talk to a nurse practitioner. I said, so each nurse could reach 100,000 people? Yeah, man. So I remember thinking my first thought was, I need to get some people together that know what they're doing, and maybe some doctors, maybe some colleges, maybe some educated people to kind of put this whole thing together, and need to go to the church and need to pray with the pastor and need to talk to the board and need to see if I get, and I was busy trying to figure out how to get this thing together because, man, 300 nurses times 100,000, that's like 30 million people a year. That's like a lot of people hearing about Jesus. And I'm thinking, I can't see why the Lord wouldn't want to do this. And as I was working my way through it, it hit me. Hey, man, you're Basileo Hiratuma. I don't need anybody. I've got the power of the living God in heaven, and he puts this in front of me, then he wants me to knock it down, make it happen. So So I looked at the guy and I said, how much time you give me to raise the money? If I give you $100,000, how much time would you give me to come up with the rest of the money? He said, well, we can start working. We have some other people that will get involved here, but based on your word, we can start next week. So I said, okay, let's roll. Now I got to tell you, that year it took me about all that year. I think there was 6, 7 other guys that helped me out. They ended up helping me out. It took us all year long to raise enough money, which was right at about $1 million to take that thing down. We used up that whole year, but we did it. And how'd we do it? There's a lot of people way prettier than me, way richer than me, way smarter than me, but man, they weren't Basileo Hiratuma. So if you are a born-again Christian and you're looking at this, take it to heart. You don't need anybody else to do the things that God lays out for you to do. Will He send other people? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. But that don't matter. You step into it and get moving. And if you're not a born-again Christian, you need to be. That's it.